Last video I talked to you guys, I told you guys I was going to shut it down after Chicago, and after the show, I was motivated to compete. Although I placed 5th at Chicago, and that was something I didn't think I was ever going to do again in the pro ranks. I wasn't happy with my physique, so everything was, that whole week was a nightmare going into it, between screwing my knee up and flight delays and breaking my front tooth and everything before the show. But with my knee, and I had a cramp in my back, I was taking muscle relaxers and some Vicodin because I was having like a really bad nerve pain, and that made me constipated. So then come show day, I'm constipated, and I had to use a suppository, and that kind of screwed up my bowels. So I was a little inflamed and a little gassy, so I couldn't hit my vacuum how I normally would, and my abs looked a little washed out. So the reason why I want to do Tampa is because I wasn't happy with my look. You know, I don't care about placings or anything like that. I care about what I'm bringing to the table. So I felt like I could improve upon that. Not only that, but my body was responding well. You know, even though it's my 5th show in 11 weeks, and I've been dieting for 28 weeks now, I'm like a fucking cockroach. The more you throw at me, you know, the stronger I get, the better I get. And that's kind of always been true. Even my rookie year, when I did 8 shows in 1 year, I looked my best at the Olympia. You know, that was my 8th show in a year span. So my body, you know, it handles it pretty resilient. And another thing, I got a YouTube video coming out talking about my mind state. And before Chicago, I went through a period of anxiety. It was just crazy. I just felt like the world was collapsing on me. I couldn't talk to people. Like, I'd see people at the gym start walking towards me, and I just felt like I was getting crushed because I knew they'd just want to talk to me, and I just had no desire to communicate with anybody or do anything. It just got overwhelmed really easily, and it made life tough for my wife and my dogs. I literally didn't look at or touch or talk to my dogs for like 2+ weeks. So that was when she kind of said, all right, this is it, enough. Like, you know, it's hurting all of us at this point. And I talked to her after Tampa, and I was like, honestly, I'm like, you know, at Chicago, one of the reasons I wanted to do Tampa was not only to improve upon my physique and keep the momentum rolling. My online prep business is picking up. You know, marketing's picking up, creating good content, keeping you guys posted on my diet and everything like that. But for personal reasons, you know, I've never dealt with anxiety like that before, and I've never been so overwhelmed that I couldn't handle day-to-day life like I was. So I just wanted to prove to her and myself that was just an anomaly, that there was just a set of extending circumstances that caused me to get in that situation. And sure enough, you know, these past 3.5 weeks now, I've been fine. I have had no anxiety issues. I've been open up a lot more with my wife and the dogs, and she even said the other day, she's like, you've been so much better these last few weeks. She's like, thank you for making an effort, you know, being present, and, you know, playing with the dogs and trying to spend time with me. So that was another reason, you know, just the mental aspect of the game. You know, how strong are you mentally? And I've always thought I was pretty fucking tough, but those couple weeks before Chicago kind of made me rethink life a lot. And I sympathize with people that struggle with depression and anxiety and things like that, because feeling that for a little bit, that was a tough ride. So here we are, 5 days out. I feel like I'm my best ever. I ate up the past 2 days. Got my weight up this morning to 235. I made the mistake last show prep where I talked about it, where I felt like I should have done a refeed on Saturday and Sunday, because there I was Monday morning, my weight was at an all-time low, and I couldn't really eat up that day because that would, you know, screw up my carb load. So I had to carb up a little harder than initially planned. And that could have had something to do with the distension in my stomach and some of the gastric issues, but I feel good right now. I'm a hard, dry 235, so I don't have to like deplete too hard over the next few days. But today I'll drop down to 200 grams of carbs. Like Saturday I did 800, yesterday I did 500, and then today I'll do 200, tomorrow I'll do 200. Should do some cardio in the morning. I land in Tampa. I convinced one of my clients to do all my shopping and everything for me. I sent him out a list yesterday. He lives down in the Tampa area, so I gave him a deal on some online training. If it go gather all my stuff. So I'm one of those people, I can't relax until I have everything I need organized, the hotel room unpacked, and I don't land until 6:30. So by the time I got the rental car, went to 5 different grocery stores to find everything I need, get to the hotel. I won't be getting to the gym until like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So he's going to gather all that stuff, meet in my hotel. I'll get unpacked. I'm going to go over to Ben Pekulski's gym, M140, and get in a chest and shoulder workout. And then it's just kind of chill Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, show Saturday. My pops lives outside of Tampa, so he's going to come to the shows, be the first bodybuilding show he's ever seen of me. So it's kind of cool. And I'm going to spend the day Sunday with him. Then I come back here on Monday, and my stepdad's actually going to be in town. He flies in Friday, spend the weekend with my wife and the dogs. And I'll spend a few days for him. And then I fly to Dallas on Thursday morning. I'm doing a photo shoot for Gasp Clothing, and trying to build a long-term relationship with Gasp. So we'll see how that goes. They have their big anniversary event, so I'll go out there Thursday and do the big event at Destination Dallas, photo shoot on Friday, and then Saturday night a big team dinner, and come back on Sunday. And then I'm done with bodybuilding, which is good and bad because believe it or not, most people at this point, 28 weeks of prep, they're like, fuck this, I'm done. I cannot wait to just shut it down and relax and chill for a little bit. I honestly feel like my motivation's almost at an all-time high right now to improve as a bodybuilder. You know, I really wanted to transition to this athletic phase next and go into, you know, dieting and things for a healthier lifestyle and do some sprinting and box jumps and things like that and try to become more athletic, maybe even downsize a little bit. But right now I'm like, I don't know, I'm gung-ho. I want to make improvements to my physique, and like I'm itching to think about getting on stage again next year. So it's a good and a bad thing. That's life in my little world. Excited. I had a client, good kid, Mike Ferris. He's out of Wisconsin. Just your good old all-American boy, hard worker, never says shit. I had to pretty much beg him to convince him to do USA's this year. He didn't think he was ready for a national level show. And he ended up taking second in the middleweights. Kid had a hell of a 10-day trip. He had a family emergency. His uncle got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer like 2 weeks out from the show. He had to fly back to Massachusetts to go see his family. While he was there, you know, conditions weren't great, sleeping on the floor, you know, having to miss gym time to go into Boston Mass General to go visit his uncle. Flight got delayed 24 hours. He spent 24 hours, well, 20-something hours in the airport with no food. You know, here he is, 7 days out, gets home, ends up somehow cooking, and shit explodes on his arm and has second-degree burns all over his arm. He goes to fly to Vegas that night, and his flight got delayed 3.5 hours into Vegas. Gets to Vegas, wakes up Thursday morning. We had an idea of maybe trying to make middleweights, which is 176.2. He wakes up at 185.8, and he goes, "What do you think? Can we make middleweights?" I'm like, "You're an ex-wrestler, buddy." I'm like, "Do what you got to do. Just don't kill yourself." So I kind of gave him a protocol with follow, and he, in 8 hours, he dropped those 9 pounds. And so I stayed up all night with him, checking him after every single meal, and he ended up placing second. So I was excited about that. I've only ever had one other person turn pro, so I convinced him to push on the North Americans so I can get fulfill his dream and get another pro under my belt. So coaching thing's been really good. I've picked up a ton of clients since I took over my own prep, and got a lot of happy people, and just want to keep rolling with that. So it's gonna be a big part of my focus coming up is trying to transition out of being a personal trainer and more into online prep stuff. I get a little more enjoyment out of it, and it doesn't drain me as much either. So if you guys are interested, bradrowfit@gmail.com. Hit me up. And so after I get my hair cut, I'm going to take you guys and hit some back over at Gold's Gym Venice and wrap things up here for the 2018 competitive season.